Parenting now is completely different than parenting 20, 30 years ago. It's completely different. I think we put too much on parents by saying you're not doing this, you're not doing that, when do you have time to do this and that today? Even the best of parents struggle to provide the attention to their children that parents were able to 20, 30 years ago. I remember when I was a kid, I would come home from school and I would sit there, my dad, we would watch the 5 o'clock news. Then we would watch, and that was the local news. Then we would watch the 5:30 news, which was the national news. Then we would watch the 6 o'clock news, which was the local news, and we would eat dinner and watch Wheel of Fortune and talk about our day. And we pretty much did that, my mom, my dad, and I, we pretty much did that every single day. My parents were very much in tune with what was going on in my life as a kid. And we were able to talk through different things. We would talk about the news. We would talk about so many different things that are invaluable in a child's development. My dad made a decent amount of money, a pretty decent amount of money, but he was able to still get off work at 4 o'clock. He was home by 4 o'clock when I came home from school. I didn't see him in the morning, but I did see him after school. I saw my mom every morning, and she would take me to school. When do you have time to actually do that today? No longer are we working strictly 8-hour shifts anymore. A parent's not working an 8-hour shift anymore. If you're working anywhere from 8 to 12 hours a day in any given job, whether that's a good job, that high-paying job, or not necessarily the highest of paying jobs, you're still going to work more than 8 hours a day in most cases. Even if you just say the 8 hours, the commute is still going to tack on an additional hour or two. And so when do kids and parents actually have the time to interact with each other in the way that we did 20, 30 years ago? Because parents don't have the time. So with that, schools are taking on a greater burden than ever before. But I don't necessarily think that that's a bad thing. I think what has happened is we've lost focus of what schools are supposed to do. Schools are about teaching. Schools are about preparing our kids to be better people, to be better and to be productive citizens. That's not always something that deals with strictly curriculum and instruction. But I think we've turned schools into put schools in a box and say this is what schools are about. And when anything steps outside of that box that we put our schools in, it's disruptive to our system. But the fact of the matter is our schools will not be successful if we do not focus on the social and emotional needs of our students.